What's up everyone, Dylan here, and I wanted to come on here and talk to you guys about my favorite thing in the whole wide world, Chaos Walking, y'all. I can't believe it. I actually physically cannot believe it. We're 10 days out, at least as of the day that I'm filming this. I'm officially 10 days out when I'm gonna have the opportunity to finally see this freaking movie. So I wanted to come on here and make a video just talking about the history of this series and this movie, because it has been a wild ride. Not all good, some bad, some amazing. This is going to be a massive video. I know I'm going to get long-winded. When I make videos, I don't use a script. I literally just turn on the camera and be like, you know what, today I want to talk about Chaos Walking, so let's go. And I just try to salvage the 40 minutes of video that I have and to try to condense into something reasonable. So sorry this is long-winded. Let's get started. So let's start at the beginning, because honestly, it was a long time ago when I fell in love with the series. In fact, it was 2011. Okay, the year I graduated high school, because I was obsessed with another franchise called The Hunger Games. I had read that, fell in love, and that caused, like most books that you fall madly in love with, causes a void in your heart. And then everything you read just doesn't match up, and you just like, I need something to fill this void in my heart. I read Maze Runner, loved it, didn't quite fill the void. And then I went on to eBay because I heard this book series called Chaos Walking, and I was like, let's give this a shot. And I found all 3 books on eBay without their slipcovers for $10 total. So I ordered it, got it, and I was like, this is it. I'm going to read it. Hopefully this will be the one, you know, that'll get me out of my reading slump. And surely enough, it was. And to explain to people who have no idea what this is about, I don't know how you stumbled upon this video then, Chaos Walking takes place on an Earth-like planet called the New World, in which we follow a guy called Todd Hewitt, and his entire planet has been infected with a virus they call the Noise. And what this virus did is it rendered all thoughts audible, which means all of your thoughts that you have inside of your head are now on display. They're visible. So I can not only hear what you're thinking, but see what you're thinking through orbs that are projected over your head. Also, this virus wiped out the entire female population, so all the people that remain on this Earth-like planet are just men. It also, in the book series, affected animals. So he has a dog that can talk, and his name is Manti. And while they're walking through the woods one day, he stumbles upon a patch of silence, which is something he's never experienced his entire life. And since he's the youngest person to become a man, he's about to become a man very, very soon, in like a month's time, he goes to tell his 2 dads, and they immediately kick him out. They kick him out and they send him on this quest, and then while on this quest he realizes his entire life that he's been told has been a big fat lie. In 2011, I had just recently graduated high school. I was forming my own path. I had no idea where I was going in life. So I had a lot of anger, a lot of angst, a lot of confusion, a lot of just unresolved anger from a lot of the bullying I experienced in middle and high school. I didn't know where to put it all. So my thoughts were constantly running, and I felt like they were on display, and everyone had all these different opinions about me. Maybe they knew me better than I knew myself, which ended up being a complete utter lie that I was telling myself. Growing up, sure, I related to Harry Potter. He was the hero that I wanted to be. I can't tell you how many times, even now to this day, I'm sticking a broomstick in between my legs, running around the house pretending that I'm a wizard. But there was no book series where I ever truly felt like I saw myself in terms of representation the way that I did with Chaos Walking. Because when I read this series, and still to this day, I see myself in Todd Hewitt. His angst, his confusion, the fact that he feels like he can't be a hero because he's illiterate and he doesn't know how to read or write, because he lives in a world run by men, and men just felt that was unnecessary, that they needed to be farmers and know how to do trades and stuff like that. You know, and I grew up in a very small southern town where my southern pitched voice was a big target for a lot of homophobic phrases and stuff like that. And the fact that Todd, being, you know, the youngest boy, a lot of times he felt like because he hadn't became a man, his opinions don't matter. So there was a lot about Todd Hewitt that I see myself in even to this day. Chaos Walking is ultimately a story about privacy, about how we just word vomit everything on social media, and it's about toxic masculinity and friendship and so many other things, while also being, you know, a coming of age tale. I really, still to this day, I don't think I've ever seen a character truly represent me and what I felt internally the way that I do with Todd Huey. Is he my favorite character in the series? He's actually not. That's Mayor Prentice. I love a villain. I love a villain. And Mayor Prentice is so smart and manipulated that you can't help but like love him. Now these movies and books are all based off of a series written by Patrick Ness, who is my hero. My hero. And I know Patrick Ness is probably sick of seeing me because I've had the privilege of not only meeting the man 1, 2, not even 3, but 4 freaking times. I'm pretty positive anytime he goes to a book signing, it's like, oh God, is Dylan gonna be in the crowd? I'm sorry, man. I love you, and if I can have the opportunity to go see you, I'm gonna take it. In fact, I'm gonna have to see you a 5th time. You've got to sign my copy of Burn, okay? Like, that book came out during the pandemic, and I had every other book of yours signed. I can't just have Burn and not be signed, so I'm sorry, bro. It's round 5, it's coming. So when I go into the theater to see this, am I going as a Tom Holland stan or a Daisy Ridley stan? Yeah, I'm going as both of those, but ultimately I'm going as a Patrick Ness stan. So Patrick Ness is the reason why I am going to see this. You know, like he is, in a sense, the roots for me and where my love for this franchise started. I want to address the awful misconception of what's going on with how Chaos Walking is unfilmable and unwatchable and all this nonsense. Look, y'all, first and foremost, good movies are victims of bad press. Bad movies are victims of good press all the time. So don't always believe what you hear on the internet. Chaos Walking is funny because Chaos Walking is always just kind of like tapping into that theme. Doug Liman shoots and edits his movie are roughly around the same time. So a lot of times he'll shoot something, go back and edit it, and look. So those articles exist for all of his properties. And if you don't know who Doug Liman is, he's the director of films like The Bourne Identity, Mr. and Mrs. Smith, and an absolute banger of an action film called Edge of Tomorrow. So I actually think Doug Liman is a great director to do this film. Unfortunately, Doug Liman's filming style did not match with Tom Holland and Daisy Ridley's rise to stardom because they got these actors before they were household names, and unfortunately, when Doug Liman needed to do reshoots on his films, which, by the way, the concept of reshoots has become extremely toxic. So many of your favorite movies, so many movies that you have given 5 stars have gone through extensive reshoots. So reshoots are not the kiss of death anymore. Just like a movie going straight to DVD isn't the kiss of death that the movie's bad anymore. You need to kill that concept. But unfortunately, Tom Holland and Daisy Ridley's schedule could not match. You know, when Tom Holland had off, Daisy Ridley was off doing Star Wars. And when Daisy Ridley had time off, Tom Holland's off doing Spider-Man stuff. So unfortunately, their schedules just did not mix. But eventually, they were able to find a small window of time to do it. And then they took that chance. They went in, they did the reshoots. Reshoots went extremely well. We're finally at the point where the movie can come out. But unfortunately, it is coming out during the middle of a pandemic. And while, yes, we could speculate, is this the kiss of death for sequels? Look, after so much that we've gone through with 2020 and even in 2021, I mentally just cannot think that. I just want to enjoy this one film as it is. And then once I see it, then we can start, you know, hyping up possible sequels and stuff like that. Because ultimately, I do believe that this movie is going to be good. Now, in terms of most anticipated scenes, I would say hands down, and you can call me morbid, I'm looking forward to the boat scene. Maybe it's because we're 10 days out. I'm 10 days out to finally seeing this movie. I'm looking forward to it because I'm a big, massive horror guy. And that scene while reading the books was so brutal, so horrific, so just draining. And when a story can do that to me, I know that some people don't want to read that, don't want to experience that type of stuff, and you need to check your headspace, obviously, with it. But I love when I can experience art that really pushes me and challenges me and makes me think, which is why that's why some of my favorite movies are just some of the most horrific and just hard-churning films, but that's just what I like to watch. And I'm also really looking forward to watching the final confrontation between Todd Hewitt and Aaron. You know, and while I think it's going to be different in the movie as it is in the book, I do think that we are going to get that sequence. And also Manchi. I'm looking forward to all the Manchi bits, you know. While it looks like they're not going to allow Manchi to speak, I absolutely love what they've done with the noise. I think they've found the perfect way to represent the noise, and I'm so excited they did that because this whole movie hindered on the noise the most, making that noise accessible to a medium that is extremely hard without making it feel like nails on a chalkboard, but you want it to feel like nails on a chalkboard because that's exactly how it feels to Todd Hughes. Ultimately, I cannot believe I've waited 10 years, pretty much almost 10 years, like, to finally see this series adapted. And I pray every night that this doesn't become like a Percy Jackson or most disastrous a Dark Tower scenario. Yes, do I have fears? Do I fear that they're cramming all 3 books into one movie? Yes. But I also live by the philosophy that I don't like my book to movie adaptations to be verbatim. I don't want to see the novel, that first novel, and just scene by scene, word by word. Some people do, and I think that you're really robbing yourself. I want to see Doug Liman's interpretation of the novel. I want to see a Doug Liman film doing Chaos Walking. And I believe what Patrick Ness, when he calls book to movie adaptation remakes, is I believe that. You need to have the themes, you need to have the messages, you need to have the central characters. But I don't care if not every action scene that's in the novel is in the book. I don't care if elements of book 2 or even book 3 are infused into the story, as long as the main themes and messages are happening. But I also am a viewer. I don't want like every massive, huge event to happen, or else it will feel like, what's the purpose of doing book 2 and 3? But I really do want book 2 and 3 because I think Mayor Prentice's final scene in Monsters of Men is the best thing I've ever read in my entire life, and I just really want to see that play out on screen. Ultimately, y'all, I'm so hyped for this. I am so hyped, and I can't believe it's finally happening. I can finally shut the naysayers up. And I know that we live in a terrible time, so I'm going to try to be careful with spoilers. I will have a review, a non-spoiler review. I will have a spoiler review, diving into everything. I plan to be safe. Y'all be safe out there. Take care of yourself. I know it's a scary world that we're living in, but also, y'all, it's here. It's actually here. We're finally going to be able to see our beloved series finally come to life, and you deserve it, I deserve it, and I'm gonna get on out of here. So, sorry for the mess of this video, but I'm just so excited.